But this is why the Raiders, and in fact, the Raiders don't even need to tank. Guys, just admit it. The Raiders are not good. We will have a top 5 pick. And if you're going to have a top 5 pick anyway, you might as well tank to get the number 1 overall pick so that you can get this guy right here. Cam Ward out of Miami. He put up a show on Saturday, and he has been putting up shows all season long. In fact, he only had one bad game this year, and by one bad game, I mean that he literally put up 36 points. That's his bad game. They put up 36 points to get the win over FSU. But because he only threw for 208 yards, they're saying it's his worst game, and he also didn't have any touchdowns. They scored all their touchdowns on the ground. That's his bad game. On Saturday, they put up 53 points against Duke. And Duke is not a bad team. Duke was one win away from being a top-ranked team. 400 yards on the day. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. With a rating of 178. QBR of 94.2. And let's look at his QBR right now. He has an overall QBR of 91.7. That's first in all of college football. He has 3,146 yards, 29 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. And the guy has only been sacked 17 times on the season. He is a magician out there on the field. He has a sixth sense for getting out of sacks. He's athletic, but you know what? He's not an Anthony Richardson or a Justin Fields. Despite the fact that he can break off a 40-yard touchdown run if he chose to, he chooses to throw the ball 40 yards down the field. And that's why the Raiders should tank. And that is why everybody who's saying the Raiders shouldn't tank are absolutely wrong. I don't like it. It's not going to be fun. But let's be honest, the Raiders have a chance of maybe winning maybe 2 games this season moving forward. That's going to make us a 4-win team, which could put us out of contention of drafting our future franchise quarterback, Cam Ward. And I know that there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of energy out there for Shedeur Sanders. Well, let's take a look at Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders, I think, is good. I think he should be drafted in the first round. But I don't think he should be drafted to the Raiders. And here's why. He has a QBR of 74.2, which is 28th in the NFL. So if you're talking about the guy that you want to get, it should absolutely be the guy who's ranked number 1. And that's Cam Ward. I know Shedeur gets all the hype because of his daddy. I know Shedeur has a great arm talent. I know he's athletic, but I also know he gets sacked an awful lot. And he is well under 500 yards less than the leading quarterback in college football right now, as well as 5 less touchdowns with the same amount of interceptions. Now, Shedeur was able to have a pretty decent game, putting up 83.3% completion rating with 2 touchdowns against Cincinnati in their victory over them. That's a great day for a quarterback. I wouldn't be mad if the Raiders had him. But at this point right now, we are looking at a 6-way tie for that number 1 overall draft pick. And believe me, if the New Orleans Saints, Carolina, or the Tennessee Titans, or maybe even Indianapolis, if any of those teams are ahead of us, they're drafting Cam Ward. New England right now currently has the number 1 overall spot. That's not going to hold up long term, but let's say New England did. Let's say that's what happens with them. They maintain that number 1 spot. They're not going to draft a quarterback after drafting Drake May last year. So you could have a trade partner there. Right now we have Las Vegas ranked at number 6. This is incorrect in my opinion because Carolina beat us. So Carolina can't have a higher draft pick than us when they beat us. We have the tiebreaker, so we should move ahead of them. But we have Cleveland, who definitely needs a new quarterback. They got to move off Deshaun Watson. He is falling apart, plus he has legal issues. New Orleans, obviously Derek Carr is not the answer there. So they're going to need a number 1 overall draft pick. The Tennessee Titans, if they were to move ahead of us, they're going to need a quarterback. So yes, absolutely, the Raiders need to tank. That's my opinion on it. You can agree or disagree down in the comments all you want. I'll read and reply to as many as I can. But I've never called for the Raiders to ever tank on a season. I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't want it. I hate it. But the facts are the facts. At this point right now, we don't have a long-term franchise quarterback. And if the Raiders ever want to get back into winning form, that's exactly the medicine that is prescribed by the doctor. And by the doctor, I mean me, Raider D. Love y'all. See y'all guys in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff.